on a crucial topic that affects businesses, individuals, and policy alike, the drone revolution. Business impact, government policy, and individual empowerment. So, can we have a huge round of applause for Srimati Bharti Sinha? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the organizers for inviting me. Am I audible? Yeah? Okay. So, unlike my normal addresses where I don't refer to any piece of paper, today I want to, in the 15 minutes we have, try to compress as many things as possible. So, I will be taking, you may see me reading a few points. But that's just because I think that this is an opportunity to share with you some of the experiences we've had in our corporate and journey so far. So, as you can see, the topic is opportunities that are there all across the board. And I would like to talk today on how we are standing at the brink of a revolution that is powered by drones and how these have great transformative potential. So, for that, these will also influence government policies and look at how businesses can leverage this and how this can affect people at an individual level. So, over the next few minutes, I plan to share how drones are shaping the future, where we stand as a nation, and how this could be the game changer that is going to boost prosperity as well as establish India as a leader in the global tech space. So, very quickly, businesses, these are just, I'm just naming these things, but of course you all know in detail how they can impact. Drones can both drive and enable efficiency and cost reductions. They can work with, enable data-driven, accurate decision making, etc. Government can recognize the potential and create new policies, both from the regulation and safety perspective, and how these can be used for the government to enhance their capabilities across different areas, but also there is an international cooperation requirement. And how are you going to come up with the policies that can be, that definitely are required, it's necessitated for all the international agreements to be in place, but these need also to be harmonized while regulating. So, and again, individuals, of course, the most obvious thing is if you imagine a use for drones, you can see many uses. But it can help you both from the safety and the surveillance perspective, as well as in terms of exciting content creation and doing things as an individual using drone technology to deliver services and maybe have a earning potential as well. Caveats and considerations that are very important to keep in mind, that while drones do have enormous potential, they also pose risks, and therefore these must be proactively addressed, like regulatory hurdles, privacy concerns, security, etc. Anyone doubts? Important thing is, let's look at what is the value drones have been able to deliver even today. There are myriad applications which are in use, and these are growing every day. So the skies are opening up with the promise of transformation in every sphere. Whether it is, let's just look at the indigenous drones, the very simple indigenous drones that Iran has created, which are dodging the radar of the sophisticated Israeli defense and aerospace and attacking. or it is the zipline drones which Ghana used for delivery of medicines even during COVID and beyond, or for organizing, human organ deliveries so that they can save lives. As we take a look at it, there are so many options, and I mean, not to, of course, the positives are there, but even the kamikaze drones which are being used, the suicide drones which are being used very effectively in the Ukraine war. So, yes, drones are there, but where are we in India? I think we are very late bloomers in this space. We are already too late for the global drone, I would say, IP fiesta. Let me set the perspective right. It's not going to be a cakewalk. And if we do boost, our drone productivity and businesses, and we still won't be, having people waiting. But as a nation, if we set our hearts and minds, it's only the first step. Please remember, China itself is 14 times our size in drones. I'll just share some statistic that will, however, show you that there is space. Last year, the whole drone business in 2023 was $34.5 billion. In 2033, this is expected to cross $100 billion. So as you can see, there is a global market. This is at current estimates. Obviously, with innovations and new uses coming up, this is going to get certainly boosted. It's not going to come down. So if we as India want to be a crucial contributor in this space, we need to be, first of all, strategic. We cannot be tactical, let's do this and get results. That's not how. We have to have a strategy in place. We have to draw our plans in place. We have to aim big. And we have to be innovative. And most of all, remember, we are not the only ones who are doing anything. There are a lot of other countries also focused on innovation and new offerings with drones and new technologies being, integrated into drones. So we need to be very swift. And I think most important, we need as a country to be united. We can't say, I'm this industry, I'm startup, I'm drone industry, I'm IT industry, I'm government, I'm this department, state government. No, we have to be united, for which we need to focus on some fundamentals. We need urgently a robust policy that has to be formulated to encourage the country to move there. We need very strong industry coalitions. I think that is where we have, we have no industry, forget coalition. We don't even have two companies talking to each other. That is where we are. We need to correct that. And we must understand that we have an opportunity to build India as a powerhouse for drones, both in the technology space and improving technology, but also in the applications and service delivery space. So, can we do it? I have no doubt. But I think everybody has to have that belief. We've done it in the past. I mean, I'm not saying that we haven't, but somewhere along the way we seem to be falling by the wayside because we lose steam or we don't move up the value chain. I'm saying right from now, talk about becoming a solution provider, not a small service or technology or a product provider. We have to have that big picture. Okay, and is this the first time? No. Look at the 90s and early 2000s. We had the ITS revolution. We've become global providers and export earners in that space. Telecom, we are leading the world. You don't get better telecom networks and cheaper data rates anywhere in the world that we get in India. And if you remember the UPI, how your Sabzi wala is the one who's taking PTM, the moment it was, we had demonetization, suddenly that ushered in that huge mobile usage revolution for even basics. I don't even know if I've got any money in my purse. I carry a mobile and I can do my entire buying, shopping, payments, everything from that. So it's a huge empowerment we've seen. So drones are nothing different. It's just that the attitude and the policies must be enabling such solution thinking and business opportunities coming out of that. Because business opportunities, I've spoken to many entrepreneurs, they get stuck because they are fighting alone. Now, if as a united front we can create that, the economies of scale will kick in. Okay? And that's why I said coalitions are the way to go. So these are some images. Now you can see diverse applications in this, which are environment, it could be development, it could be smart cities or security, surveillance, anything. So like I said, coalitions are the answer. But if you look at coalitions, industry coalitions are very complex because they have a lot of competing agendas. So the need is to make these coalitions work. I'd like to share some instances from my own journey in this space, because I've many times been among the leading players, and at other parts I've been part of a collective coalition or a strategic drive at national levels. So, we can proceed by examining industry best practices on advocacy and policy formulation. EGIS is what we are talking about today. So unlike IT, it's always been a late entrant, and has always been considering itself more or less as being a periphery technology and not at the center. And as our Prime Minister once said, we want to move from the periphery of your vision to the center of your thought. And if one really looks at it, geospatial technology is the easiest to adapt at individual and enterprise levels, because it is more aligned to the way we work, with pictures, with location. Now everybody knows how to share locations. Everybody, whether they are educated or not, still send the location pin. So it is no longer something that is unfamiliar. But the applications are still continuing in the traditional mold. I think there's a rethinking that is required there, because it needs to integrate across technologies and to become the window to drive into enterprise applications, enterprise services, etc. I had been executive director heading Association of Geospatial Industries many moons ago, and we had created industry think tanks on various initiatives, and we worked together to bring out a conducive policy and business initiative environment where government as well as industry and knowledgeable individuals could collaborate and come up with the better good. So I'll just share these are pictures from some of the work we did at AGI, and this is proof that coalitions do work. AGI and NASSCOM joined hands to create the smart city guidelines for the government when smart city was launched, and we had a very clear divide. NASSCOM took care of the security surveillance, which was with the cameras and that part, and the ICT infrastructure. And from geospatial industries, there are myriad solutions which are collaborative and which are integrating all the businesses of companies, whether it is in power distribution, whether it is in water management, etc. And we wrote the white paper for that, and it was launched by Prime Minister with the complete set, the infrastructure, the safety security aspects taken care of, and the applications. So they do work. But important thing is, and this is a lesson I learned, suspend company specific objectives to pursue a common industry goal. Resist the temptation to sell your products, because if you get the groundwork done, product will sell by itself as being a part of the whole solution. But a product without a solution is going to be lying there. By the time the solution comes, the product is already outdated, and no buyer is going to be happy having to pay to maintenance cost, buying new products, updating technology, etc. The other learning is that there has to be a 360-degree mapping of the ecosystem. You cannot drive it from the provider side. It has to be from the market side. What is the expectation and what is the value that you will deliver? From that side, you should work and see who are the stakeholders, what are the interconnections and dependencies, and what is the big picture going to be. Then a very important thing is we have to generate policy dialogues aligned with nation building policies. So we are talking about Viksit Bharat, everything should be tied up with saying that yes, India will be an economic powerhouse going forward in 2047, and this is how we will contribute. This sector will give, you know, $5 trillion or $1 trillion to the economy. I mean, we need to have that lofty agenda, and the body or the conveners who are brokering such an environment need to have credibility and should be looking at the overall picture and not about, you know, I've created 5, you know, discussion forums. No, what is the finding, what is the recommendation that these discussion forums are doing? You cannot tick the box by saying, oh, I had 500 delegates and therefore it was a success. What recommendations went in, how will the policies be shaped based on that? That has got to be the barometer for success. And keeping the flock together, even when you start with the best of initiatives and you bring in, somewhere along the way, people's personal agendas should not creep in. You have to make sure that they stick to the plot, and they should be transparent and they should be participatory. You can't say, oh, you're too small, I'm a big player, so I'm the dada in the room, you keep quiet. No. Everybody has to get together and contribute, whether it is an individual or it could be a large enterprise. And we must realize the power of technology diplomacy, bridging the local to the global. You know, move from India and become known as the powerhouse in this, who know everything. You want anything in drones, whether it's a product or it is advisory, go to India. India has the answers. India has the solutions. We have the scale and we have the intellect to be able to build this. And remember, money is not a dirty word. I have entrepreneurs who say that, you know, I'm making a loss. Why? Why should entrepreneurs be made to make losses because their going out of business is not serving the country at all? So this is, you know, another example is when the MMRCA project was going on, the government decided to bring out offset policies for defense and aerospace. And for the first time, you had very, very good discussions where industry forums across the board, whether it was CII, it was NASSCOM, it was FICCI, it was CIT, it was Center for Power Studies, Air Power Studies, etc. Everybody got together to formulate the policy. And this is where even the buyers, whether it was the aircraft manufacturers who were participating, everyone put their personal agendas aside to write the policy. So it works, and we need to, you know, today remember one thing, we are a big buyer. We can flaunt our, you know, power as a buyer to the world, and we can also flaunt our power as a powerhouse of talent and technology, which we can serve the world, you know. That is very important. And in the same space, you know, like the offset policy was geared towards India's Atmanirbharta agenda. I think we need, that is a good way to scale up the value chain. So that's what I have to say. Just a few recommendations and action items at the end. I would like to just say for the governments, they need to be very clear and bring up very clear and flexible regulations which are market friendly and yet do not sacrifice the interest of security. We need public awareness. People must be aware of what it is and what is being done, including, you know, what are the safeguards they must take, what is the watch list, what are the opportunities. Government must also boost the research and development ecosystem. Until and unless we develop and research in India, we are not doing our Make in India duty, so to say. And we must foster international collaboration, because sometimes it is better to bring in technology and safeguard the time gap. But a caveat is we should not over-regulate, because that will end up hindering and making innovation very, very costly. And we must ensure that the privacy protections are well articulated. Everybody must be aware. Otherwise, we had an instance where in many years ago, one of the companies just showcased in an exhibition their drones, and later got a notice from the ministry saying, who did you take permission from? Now, there was no clarity whether permission was required for a demo or not. So be very clear. I think this is a drone, I understand, a very high secure area where drones can't be flown. So I believe for this conference, they've got it for being showcased indoors. So these are very important. For businesses, it's very important that first of all, everybody must be, must ensure ethical usage. We must be ethical, and we must ensure that everybody whom we are working with or have with us is ethical and will use it responsibly. But we must try and see how to create the market by integrate, both from the solutioning as the buy side and the user side. So you integrate drones into core operations. We are already seeing sectors like logistics, delivery, etc., who can use it very well. Companies should also invest in R&D for building solutions which may be custom driven and may also incorporate integration with new age technologies. And this will help us also move up the value chain and become adept at enterprise, real world, mission critical usage of solutions which will boost the AI, ML, blockchain and other technologies which keep emerging. We must prioritize safety and compliances, train, of course, the workforces, leverage drones also for pushing the sustainability agenda, which is very important. Our climate is dying, and why should we as a country contribute to that mortality? We have an opportunity to use drones for good, which will also deliver business. And of course, there's several things that keep coming up, new business models, drones as a service, information sharing, data sharing, etc., data management. Academia should also develop specialized drone curricula and interdisciplinary programs. Just having different programs which are in silos is not going to work now. We have to be proactive, and we must advance the research and innovation also at the university levels, where they should also collaborate with industry and maybe promote incubators, etc. And individuals, of course, like I said, must be informed, must also use drones responsibly and explore creative uses, and be aware of the potential privacy concerns, not theirs. They should not infringe on other people's privacy domain, and ensure that they are skilled. And in fact, I would say, if you see two graphs at the bottom, you'll see an opportunity here to bring in diversity also into the workforce. Are you aware that India is the world leader in female commercial pilots? And Indigo has 730 plus pilots who are working here who are female, other airlines too, but I'm just giving an example. Why do we not look at people from diverse backgrounds, women, even children who studied till 12th, etc., getting an opportunity, a work opportunity, a professional opportunity by becoming drone pilots, for instance? So there is, I have to put in that bit, because I believe that as a country, we are not utilizing even a part of the enormous work potential that we've got. So I would like to say the drone revolution is not a technological shift, it's a societal transformative shift. As drones reshape the way we work, it will also transform and influence government policy and empower people to draw more from the technology. India currently is leading the industry in terms of the number of female commercial pilots that I told you. We have an opportunity to lead the world in drone technologists globally and export both solutions as well as knowledge power. So, I think that I would like to end on that note of hope. Jai Hind. Thank you. This is still on.
Thank you so much for that thought-provoking keynote.